Never miss another fabulous cultural event in Cotacachi just because you can't speak Spanish. In other words, tells you everything you need to know about life in Cotacachi. And here is our host, Deborah May.
Welcome to In Other Words, the only English language program on public radio in Cotacachi. If you listen every Friday afternoon at 4, you'll find out what special events are going on next week in the Cotacachi region. As always, Apak Perugachi is going to teach us some words in Kichwa. Today he will be teaching us how to chat about the weather with our indigenous friends. Then Katy Estrella will teach us more simple phrases in conversational Spanish. Today's music will include classic oldies from Dire Straits and Joni Mitchell, and then around 4:30, I'll be interviewing the co-founder of our extraordinary free local English school, Uno a Unos. In other words, stay tuned and enjoy the show. I'm your host, Deborah May.
Find out about the local events in Cotacachi before they happen on What's Going On.
So, what's going on locally this week? This weekend, Muyuwasi of Ibarra invites women to join them for their first meeting of Muyuwasi women on Saturday and Sunday. Health and wellness practitioners will be present for what I think is a free event. It includes presenters from Brazil, Imbabura, and Germany. The event includes yoga, drumming, and a ritual bath cleansing. So, more information about this event can be found on the In Other Words Facebook page. This is really special. A nighttime bicycle ride in Cotacachi will begin next Friday, May 25th at 7 o'clock in front of the Museo de las Culturas. You are invited to pedal your bike along with a large group of cyclists from Cotacachi to Santa Barbara. Enjoy the sound of the night and its tranquility. The event is free and safe, so come cycle to be happy. Prizes will be rewarded by the sponsors of the event, including the Municipio of Cotacachi, Ciclo Cotacachi, this radio station, Radio Pública Cotacachi, and one of this radio program sponsors, Cota Cafe. That's next Friday at 7 o'clock, starting in front of the Museo de las Culturas in the center of Cotacachi. Also next Friday, on May 25th, there will be a musical festival in the Cotacachi community of Turuku, featuring many Quechua bands, including one of my favorites, Humazapas. All are welcome. The publicity poster says the event will start around 4 o'clock, so it probably will get underway a little after 5. The festival plans to make a historical tour through the different kinds of Quechua music, beginning with the traditional music of the harp, pajas, flutes, pingujos, and up to the current styles with rhythms such as jazz and afro. The community of Turuku is located just a little northwest of the city of Cotacachi. If you don't want to walk, tell your taxista you want to go to the church in Turuku. You will see many white canopies and hear the music as you approach the church. I have to say I was very happy when an expat approached me in front of Robin's pastry shop at the Thursday market to tell me she had attended the dance contest in Iluman last Sunday with 5 other expats because they heard me promote it here on this program. When I attended the previous dance contest in Iluman, there were only Ecuadorians and me in the audience, so I'm very pleased. That means 6 expats in attendance. That tells me that this radio program has taken another step towards meeting its mission, which is increased intercultural integration. There's going to be a pancake breakfast fundraiser for a Place of Hope. That's going to be held on June 2nd, 2018, starting around 10 and going until noon at the Soup Kitchen on Esmeraldas next to the San Jose Barrio Church. This fundraiser will include a raffle, and music will be performed by the band. I don't know if it's Time or Time. I don't know if they do the English or the Spanish pronunciation, but it's Time. They will be serving pancake, sausage, bacon, fruit salad, juice, and coffee. Free transportation will be provided by Milton from San Francisco Park starting at 9:45. Now, A Place of Hope is a participating member group of Makipurai, the Cotacachi Volunteer Center. Check out Makipurai's Facebook group page. It's called simply Cotacachi Volunteer Center. Tickets for the pancake breakfast are available from 3 of this radio program sponsors. They're busy folks: Robin's Pastry Shop, La Quadra Hostal, and the Cuckoo's Nest. Amicine is closed again this Saturday for renovations, but it will open its doors again on May 26. This week, the city of Cotacachi posted congratulations on their official social media page for the young people that they call champions of life. The Municipio de Cotacachi wrote, again, Special Olympics Cotacachi leaves the name of our canton on high. Their courage and joy make them worthy of the greatest medals in athletics and in life. Congratulations, champions. So that's a message from the city of Cotacachi to the Special Olympics Cotacachi champions. Some of you may not know that expats Johan and Chris Nervik started the Special Olympics Club in Cotacachi just a year ago in May 2017. It's a collaborative effort. It involves Ecuadorians, expats, and the families of the amazing kids. The mission of the group is to ensure that individuals with disabilities and their families are included, embraced, and fully accepted into the Cotacachi community. Special Olympics Cotacachi also is a participating member group of Makipurai, the Cotacachi Volunteer Center. One way to find out how to volunteer with Special Olympics or make a donation to them is to visit the Facebook page Cotacachi Volunteer Center. Cotacachi Rimai is looking for a bilingual volunteer to teach limited English for a total of just 4 hours for local tour guides. The tour guide English class will teach local tour guides what they need to know to better serve and attract English-only tourists. The classes will be held at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, starting on May 23rd for 4 weeks. And I'll take one of your classes if you can't do them all, but please see the details on the Facebook group page. In other words, a really big thank you to Mary Grover, who agreed to volunteer 4 hours to teach English words and phrases to the taxistas in town. And another big thank you to Roseanne Marlowe, who will be teaching some English to the Cotacachi Rimai Communications Technology English class. Just want to put in a word for La Quadra. You'll feel right at home at La Quadra Hostal and Cafe, enjoying their relaxed and comfortable family atmosphere. The hotel is located in the center of Cotacachi on Modesta Penherrera, just half a block from Matriz Park. To make reservations, you can call them at 06-291-6015.
And now it's time to learn a few words in Kichwa. Mama Urku and Apak Perugachi speak Kichwapi.
Welcome to another Kichwa lesson for English speakers on Kichwapi. I am Mama Urku. I am here with Apak Perugachi, who teaches Kichwa to Spanish-speaking students. He's also a lecturer on the importance of the Kichwa language as well as Andean spiritual traditions. And today we're going to talk about the way that accents can shift in words in Kichwa. Almost always the accent will be on the next to the last syllable of a word. So we have the example of the word for rain.
Tamia.
And the accent will shift when we say it's raining, which is
Tamiaku.
So for sun, the word is
Indi.
The next to the last syllable is the first syllable, in this case, indi. And to say it's sunny, we say
Indihun.
indihun. So what we are doing is simply adding the letters K-U-N to the end of rain. So Tamya becomes Tamyahun. The K is pronounced like an H. Tamyahun. For the sun, Indi, we add K-U-N, so it becomes Indihun. Can you say those words for us again, Apak?
Tamyahun. Indihun.
Okay, great. And to simply say cold, something is cold is
Chiri.
But to say it is cold, we say
Chirihun.
So the accent moves from the chi in chiri to the e, chirihun. Is that correct?
Chirihun.
Very good. Okay, so when it is hot, we say
Rupahu.
But the word for hot is simply
Rupa.
okay. Let's review again. We want to say today that it is raining.
Tamyahu.
It is sunny.
Indihu.
It's cold.
Chirihu.
It's hot.
Rupahu.
So with these words, it's possible to talk with your Kichwa friends and neighbors about the weather. And we're going to repeat this one more time. Repetition is always good. To say it's raining.
Tamyahu.
It's sunny.
Indihu.
It's cold.
Chirihu.
It's hot.
Rupahu.
Okay. And to say simply it's a beautiful day, we would say
Huyaija punja.
Huyaija punja.
Huyaija punja.
Okay. Well, thank you, Apak. Everything that we have learned today and on every lesson of Kichwapi is available on our Facebook group page, in other words, or our program page on Radio Publica Cotacachi. There you will find a link to Quizlet where you can, for free, practice the pronunciation and find out, again, the definition for today's vocabulary. And also you can get contact information for Apak on those pages. Apak and I will return each week, Friday at 4 o'clock, for Kichwapi, Yupay Chani,
Kaya kaman.
Kaya Kaman. Ari, so Apak Perugachi teaches Kichwa classes and does individual tutoring with Spanish speakers who want to learn the language of the Anticruna, the indigenous people of the Northern Andes. So if you speak Spanish and want a lesson from Apak, you can call him. It's 098 085 1887. Our first song of today's program is dedicated to Cotacachi expats Dan Marceau and David Johnstone, as well as all of the talented guitarists who live here in Cotacachi.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places, but the horns, they blowing that sound. Way on down south, way on down south, London town. Check out Guitar George, he knows all the chords. When he's strictly rhythm, he doesn't want to make it cry or sing. If an old guitar is all he can afford, when he gets up under the lights to play his thing, then Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky-tonk like anything, saving it up Friday night with the Sultans, with the Sultans of Swing. Young boys, they're fooling around in the corner, drunk and dressed and the Sultans. Yeah, the Sultans that play Creole. Creole.
Called this song, The Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits, one of the best examples of superb guitar playing available. It was made in 1978. I know back then I didn't appreciate it very much, but over time, this song has made it up to my top 10 favorite song list. And if we have time at the end of the show, we'll try to finish out the other 3 minutes of the song. Anyways, last week on In Other Words, we interviewed Yannick Pak, the owner of Pandela Bakery and Vegan Restaurant. Now, Yannick wants to remind us that Pandela has delicious, whole grain, healthy, sourdough, natural seeded, creative, tasty, handmade breads. Find Pandela Cotacachi on Facebook or call them at 099-3682-314. Pandela, because life is better while eating. That is 099-3682-314. Woof Puppy. Did you know that Woof Puppy Dog Grooming and Pet Shop of Cotacachi gently bathes and grooms your dog so he looks great and feels great too? And at Woof Puppy, you'll find high-quality pet food and accessories for every kind of pet. So visit them at the corner of Pedro Moncayo and Modesto Penjera near Matriz Park. And check out their Facebook page, Woof Puppy, W-O-O-F, Woof Puppy.
Get to know your neighbors with total Spanish immersion. Vamos.
So we have another Spanish lesson with Kathy Estrella. Kathy teaches Spanish at her classroom that's located near San Francisco Park. She holds classes there, and she also has a bed and breakfast kind of school. It's called the Pucara Spanish School for people who want to do immersion Spanish. And today we're going to practice a little presentation, a little skit on how one might introduce oneself and meet a person on the street or at a party, but in an informal situation. So, Katy, could you just begin the skit for our folks?
Ok, buenos días, Débora. Hoy vamos a estudiar presentación informal.
So today we're going to do presentations of an informal nature.
Por ejemplo, cuando encontramos o conocemos a un amigo.
For example, when we meet a friend.
Hola, soy Katy. ¿Y tú?
Hola, soy Deborah. Mucho gusto.
¿De dónde eres?
Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. ¿Y tú?
Yo soy de Quito, Ecuador.
Okay, so let's do that again. Katy is going to begin by introducing herself.
Hola, soy Katy. ¿Y tú?
She is saying, hi, I am Katy. And you? And who are you? So one more time.
Hola, soy Katy. ¿Y tú?
Okay, and the response is, hola, soy Deborah. Mucho gusto. And there I am saying, hello, I'm Deborah, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Let's do that one more time, Katy.
Hola, soy Katy. ¿Y tú?
Hola, soy Deborah. Mucho gusto.
Continuamos. ¿De dónde eres?
So now Katy is asking, and where are you from?
Yo soy de Quito, Ecuador.
So we said, ¿de dónde eres? And that means from where are you from? Literally, from where are you? ¿De dónde eres? And Katy answered,
Yo soy de Quito, Ecuador.
And Katy said, I am from Ecuador. I am from Ecuador, from Quito, Ecuador. So let's just do that one more time. Katy?
¿De dónde eres tú?
Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. ¿Y tú? And this means I am from the United States. And you? ¿Y tú? Means and you. So one more time.
¿De dónde eres?
Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. ¿Y tú? And Katy is going to answer ¿y tú? And you.
Yo soy de Quito, Ecuador.
So she is saying, I am from Quito in Ecuador. So let's do that whole thing one more time and see if you can speak some of the words along with us.
Hola, soy Katy. ¿Y tú?
Hola, soy Deborah. Mucho gusto.
¿De dónde eres?
Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. ¿Y tú?
Yo soy de Quito, Ecuador.
Okay, we're going to do that just one more time, and then we'll change some of the words.
Hola, soy Bárbara. ¿Y tú?
Hola, soy Susan. Mucho gusto.
¿De dónde eres?
Yo soy de Nueva York. ¿Y tú?
Yo soy de Cotacachi, Ecuador.
Okay, so we've said pretty much the same thing, but with different names. And this time I said I am from New York, and Katy said I am from Cotacachi. Let's try it one more time with different words.
Mm-hmm. Hola, soy Juan. ¿Y tú?
Hola, soy Diana. Mucho gusto.
¿De dónde eres, Diana?
Yo soy de Santa Bárbara. ¿Y tú?
Yo soy de Riobamba.
Okay, Katy, so thank you. For today's lesson, we learned how to say, hello, my name is, where are you from? And I am from, in this example, the United States, Estados Unidos, y tú, which means and you. So thank you very much for today's lesson, Katy, and I will talk again next week.
Sí, con mucho gusto, Débora. Adiós.
Okay, so Katy Estrella is an experienced Spanish teacher with over 20 years of teaching experience in Europe and Ecuador. In Switzerland, she first learned how to host guests and have conversations in several languages, skills she now utilizes at her popular Pucara Spanish School. Teaches Spanish to people of all ages at every level, from beginner to advanced, and offers Spanish lessons at her classroom here in Cotacachi at San Francisco Square. So, remember, you can find links to all of our teachers, interview guests, and sponsors on our Facebook group page. In other words, one of those sponsors is Prana Vital Energy, offering local organic produce, nuts, oils, wine, books, and much more. They're located on the corner of 9 de Octubre and Rocafuerte. Prana invites you to browse their shop on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So I'm going to welcome now for our next segment Pierre, Etienne Banville, and Suzy Prenger from Uno a Uno. Pierre is co-founder of the Uno a Uno school. He made time for this interview during his visit from Canada. So he's just visiting Cotacachi and said, yeah, he'll come in and be interviewed. Suzy is the ESL curriculum director of Uno a Uno. She lives in the Cotacachi indigenous community of La Calera. Both of them will be talking with me today about how Uno a Uno began, what the school offers to local residents, opportunities for listeners to be involved, and the role that English plays in the future of children in Cotacachi. So I'm just going to ask one question to Pierre, if he could just tell us a little bit about his journey, how the economic development work that he did here in Ecuador some time ago led to the founding of a school with free English classes in Cotacachi for local residents. And after his answer, we'll take a quick break and come back with something to talk about. So Pierre, please.
Thank you, Deborah, for having us here. And I was involved with the Vision Fund Ecuador about 3 years ago and volunteering in a microfinance institution. And the first thing we realized is that the importance of education, and how some people that have a loan, and when they don't have the tools and the opportunities to know how to use the loan and they are not as well off as those that have the tools and the education. And we really wanted to do something for the residents here of Cotacachi, where we've been staying. And we developed this school, Uno a Uno. And essentially, it's more than an English school. It's really an educational institution where people can do tutoring. And we have a business program. We can talk about that a little bit later. And of course, the English classes. But it's really about education in general, and how education helps people improve their life and have better standards of living.
Well, that's certainly something that we want to talk about, and we'll get into it in more depth with both Suzy Prenger and Pierre Etienne Banville right after these messages from our sponsors. Thank you.
And we're back with Deborah May on In Other Words. Listen to the special people who define Cotacachi here in Something to Talk About.
So we are back with two special people from Uno a Uno, an English school funded in part by a private foundation. One of those people is Canadian Pierre Etienne Banville, who co-founded Uno a Uno with his wife Candice in 2015. The other is our own Suzy Prenger, who develops curricula for the school using her expertise in English as a second language. So you want to stay right here listening to this program, because this promises to be an enlightening interview. Let me ask you, either of you, Suzy or Pierre, can you tell our listeners why Uno Uno believes it is important for local residents to learn English?
English is so important, and especially for, it's both for adults and for kids. And for adults, it can lead to better employment and better opportunities for work that will increase the income. And especially also now that we're living in Cotacachi, in a town where there's so many expats, there's so many opportunities to interact with them, and also to have potentially some business ventures with them, maybe for tour guides, for taxis, for other businesses that are vendors that are dealing with expats. English is so important, especially in a world today where the borders are so close and everybody can interact with everyone. And English is one of those languages that everybody needs to learn. And for kids, mainly, there's a lot of English at school that they need for passing their standardized tests to get to higher education, the tests that they have at the end of the year. And a lot of time, it's a barrier for them to get to higher education. So knowing English will help them pursue their studies and be able to achieve their dreams and do what they want to do in life. And we just want to help them be able to achieve their potential.
Well, I certainly know, I've lived here for more than a few years now, and it's hard to get into a taxi without them asking me if I would please teach them or their children English. And they explain to me, every day how important it is to know English to succeed in their profession. So absolutely what you're saying. And also tour guides, want to know some English. I understand that Uno Uno is more than just an English school. What are some of the other programs, other services?
Yes, we have two other programs that are actually quite important. One of them is our tutoring program, which is for school-age children from 7 to 15, and we help them with their homework, and mainly in mathematics, Spanish, and science, and in a way to develop critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills. It's not just we sit down and do their homework for them. We make sure that they understand what they're doing, and we help them build those skills that are going to be useful for them later in life. And we also have, which we started just last year, a business program, which is in Spanish for local residents to help them build and develop their own small business. And we're teaching marketing skills, also budgeting, savings, how to build a successful business plan, do some basic accounting. Those are done over the course of 1 month, 2 classes a week. And it's basically a short introduction to business for some of the people that are in business or want to get into business. It's really quite helpful.
So, yeah.
And I
Suzy,
might
please,
add, if I could just add, there's also one other program which it was started recently for those who stopped out of school and need to come back and pass their English exams. And they haven't followed a regular course through school year after year, but maybe they had a child, maybe they needed to step out for work purposes to help support their families. And so we have a new group that can meet early in the morning before they go to their regular jobs to help increase their English skills to be able to pass out and pass the exams.
I have to ask, how early in the morning is that?
That starts at 8 to 9, and
Okay.
actually 8 to 8:50 because most of them go into work at 9. They dash away.
And I understand that your programs are not free, but they're almost free. What would a person need to pay the school to attend classes for how long?
Well, it's we have several sessions. We're starting a series of short sessions, which are 8 weeks long, and it's $5 inscription fee per session, whether you're an adult, a child, and that just helps us offset the courses of the materials, copies, Xerox copies. But no matter if it's the 15-week session for children, $5 one-time fee. We also have a special reading program that we've instituted, so there may be like $1 or $2 deposit for the books that people take home and remember to bring back, and then they'll get that deposit back.
Well, I was going to ask Pierre what kind of changes he's seen at Uno since it was first founded in 2015. I'm remembering back to 2016 when I helped out a bit there at the school, and it just sounds like it's growing phenomenally. Are there any other changes or anything more you want to say about the changes that have been mentioned?
Yes, we've grown quite a bit, expanded our services, and one of the other changes is also we're becoming a practicum site for those that are getting their TEFL degree, so teaching as an English foreign language degree. And we've had volunteers come in from World Teach, which is an organization who send volunteers to teach English across the world. And we're starting to make partnership with different universities to come here and teach English as well. So it's really developing quite nicely. And of course, we have a lot more students than we used to at the beginning.
I will add that we have student teachers who do their practicum, and Penn State University has had a long history in Ecuador with their programs as English as a second language and TEFL degrees. Their students go to Cuenca they used to go to Otavalo, and now they're in Cuenca for a semester, and yet many of them want to come back. So they come back with us in the summers and do their practicum degree. And my own University of Nebraska-Lincoln will be coming down in October to set up their practicum programs as well with Imbabura.
I'm just astounded. This is just really amazing progress that you've made in such a short time. And I know that a lot of that can be attributed to the dedicated staff and director that you have there. Suzy, can I ask you, please, to describe the inside of the Uno school building and what might be happening inside the walls there on a typical weekday? What's happening inside a typical classroom at Uno?
Well, we have we place the students based on their age, and so you may have elementary kids learning basic sentence structure, basic colors, vocabulary of animals, things relating to their lives, their daily routine, or you may have junior high kids who are learning to work a little more with reading comprehension and writing. We have a very dedicated group of young women and men from La Calera that are self-educated students, and they are working currently on reading comprehension and conversation skills. So we have lots of fun, colorful things on the walls, and you may find people working with a game. Might be a vocabulary game. You may find them working with some tablets. We're teaching some technology skills related to the use of tablets for online quizzes and learning or games. Kahoot game is my favorite, where people can answer and then see their answers corrected immediately. We also have adult students at night. We have both a beginning, an intermediate, and a higher intermediate group, not
For
quite yet
English
advanced, for English lessons. And that's a lot of different things might be happening there, whether they're learning to speak comfortably with a client. For example, we have people who own stores and they're just terribly shy about speaking. And that's kind of typical for all of our students. They may know grammar very well or can fill out a worksheet, but speaking is hard for them. They're very shy. And so we often will create scenarios for them to practice speaking. A lot of different things going on. You might hear music and lyrics. You may hear
Teaching through lyrics.
Teaching through music. We use a lot of art activities for teaching. One of the professors coming from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln wrote a book on using art in ESL. And so hopefully when she's here, we'll tap her expertise some more. We also, you might find that we're doing a cooking class. We have an Australian volunteer teacher who is wicked in the kitchen. And so rather than just teaching measuring and numbers, they learn it by cooking with him.
Oh, it sounds fascinating. I know that I have many friends and acquaintances who I will be speaking in English, and they have never said an English word in anywhere near me, but when I'm done, they speak to me in Spanish, and it's clear they've understood the English. So you're right; they really are shy about speaking the English aloud. Did you want to add something to what Suzy said, Pierre?
I think another thing that something else we've started recently is a reading program, and mostly happening on Fridays. And we're really encouraging the kids to read now, and we're starting with getting them used to read in Spanish first, and then we're, for example, taking a story that's appropriate for kids, and then we're 1 week it's in Spanish, we're asking them questions, playing some games, doing some crafts related to the story, and then the following week we do it in English so that they are already familiar with the story, and then do some more games and activities with it. And it's another way. It has two purposes. One definitely is to encourage reading, and the second one is, of course, for the kids to mingle and to have fun together and do a bit of developing their understanding of reading and doing it in English as well.
I just love the methodologies, the pedagogy, is that how you say it? They're involved because, so many of these kids learn English in a classroom where it's just rote memory, writing down what the teacher said, and you're using all the senses and a lot of playfulness.
And I would add that if you've ever learned or tried to learn another language, you know that not everybody in your group learned in the same way. Exactly. And so that's why we try to use varied approaches to the speaking, listening, reading, writing, those four basic skills, but emphasizing speaking.
Okay, so right now we're going to take a short break to play a song I'm sure Pierre and all of the Canadians living in Cotacachi area know and love. From 1971, Joni Mitchell sings A Case of You while James Taylor plays guitar.
Before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. On the back of a cartoon coaster, in the blue TV screen light, I drew a map of Canada, oh Canada, with your face sketched on it twice. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. It tastes so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling. my feet, oh, I would still be on my feet. I am a lonely painter. I live in a box of paints. I'm frightened by the devil, and I'm drawn to those ones that ain't afraid. I remember that time you told me, you said love is touching souls. Surely you touch mine, 'cause part of you pours out of me in these lines from time to time. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling. Still I'd be on my feet. I would still be on my.
Okay, so we are back with Pierre and Suzy from Una, and I want to ask you, this is important, can you tell our listeners a little about the kinds of people who attend your classes? How old are they? Where do they live? Would you say they're mostly mestizo or indigenous? Who are your students?
We have students starting from age of 7 until adults, and for the people that are going to school, mostly from 7 till 16, more or less, and then we have adults of pretty much all ages that are coming to our English classes. They can be young adults, can be a little bit older adults.
Where do they come from?
And actually, I can probably indicate that we figured out that we draw from 11 different schools. When we did a survey of the students and parents, we were really kind of surprised to see that our reach had been that broad, but it's a mix of mestizo and indigenous. I would say most are mestizo, but the indigenous communities that are represented include El Punje, Andraví, La Calera, Ashambuela, Quitugo, El Ejido, Santa Barbara. There's students from there. And I'm pretty impressed with some of the students who come from up above El Ejido and walk down or grab the bus after their regular classes every day.
About how many students are attending this year?
I would say we have over 100 students right now.
Oh, that's a lot. And about how many students have taken classes at Una altogether since the school's founding?
We did the math a little bit earlier, and we figured about just over 300 or so.
Okay. Suzy, I know you want to say something about your summer program.
Oh, yeah. It's exciting because we do have practicum students coming this summer. The summer program will start July 9th and go till August 17th. And we are working on developing an overarching theme, and this is for the students ages 7 to 16. And the overarching theme is this notion of Cotacachi, or in Babura, a sense of place, where we're going to really look at who's here, what's our history here, how can we relate, how do the students relate to where they live from, and going from that, issues of caring for the community. We may, as we develop the program, we may include things like presentations on how to care for animals. We may include things on how to care for yourself, how to care, that it would include nutrition and some health issues. We're developing it now in partnership with our student teachers who are coming, but that is always a highlight. And the other thing that will happen is, because some of the adult teachers and volunteer teachers take a break in the summer months, we're going to have a series of weekly activities for the adults. It could be a movie night, conversation circles, and we are calling on expats in the community who want to participate in those conversation circles.
Well, that's something
to join us.
I definitely want to ask you, but I understand your teaching staff has long included native English speakers from foreign countries. Can you tell us about the role and the use of volunteer teachers?
Sure. We have people from Australia, the United States. Currently, we've had folks from Canada as well. But basically, we ask people to take a look at the volunteer job description. Since we are shifting some of our courses, if someone wants to teach for 8 weeks instead of 15 weeks, that's an opportunity now.
That can make a difference.
For some people, I think that's a little easier to make that commitment. We also have need for assistance in the classes. Oftentimes we'll have a group of students and then discover that they're really at different levels, and we need to have more one-on-one work. So we're looking for people who are willing to be teaching assistants, if you will.
Right.
And that way they don't have the responsibility for the whole class, but they can really help the teacher. Also, if people are interested and they speak Spanish and would like to help with the after-school homework program, that's a lot of fun. And I think, well, they all are. I think they're all fun. But that's an opportunity if somebody's a specialist in math or a science person. Kids bring their homework to us, and very often we need a little extra assistance with that.
Okay, so I would love to hear if either of you have a personal story about how taking classes at Uno helped improve the life of one of your students or more, or help them to advance professionally. Do you have a story that you might share?
I actually can think of a couple of people. I know there was one gentleman who started taking classes in the adult group who he shared with us that he always felt a bit ashamed that he had never finished his high school degree. And then he was part of the reason he didn't is he needed to pass out of the English exam. And he was able to do that. And then that was sort of a personal goal of his. We have a couple of people in business, and they're able to really interact now with the English speakers in the community or feel a little more confident in that interaction. I know there's another young student who changed schools from one school to another and realized that she was quite behind in English, and she was able to catch up with this extra assistance.
Okay, so I just need to ask for people who are interested, exactly where is Uno located in Cotacachi?
We are on Calle Sucre, 15-89, Sucre 15-89, and lots of people, the taxi drivers know it as Arriba del 24 de Mayo, up above 24th of May Street, in front of the Hostal Bachita. We have a big sign outside, and we're just down the hill a little bit from the Bachita hostel. If people know Convento, it's a block and a half down Sucre from Convento.
Excellent. If a listener had a friend or an employee, say, who wants to learn English, or their kids want to learn English, what can you tell our listeners about how to enroll for classes? What's the process, quickly, and when does the enrollment begin next?
Okay. So our next class for enrollment is going to be especially for our summer program now. And generally, this is going to be mostly for kids, but we also have, as Suzy was mentioning, those special classes for adults in the evening. And enrollment is on site from 8:30 to 12:30 in the morning, and from 2 to 6 in the afternoon. And it will probably start around in June for the enrollment for the summer program. And when our regular classes will start again, which is generally end of September. Enrollment starts about 2 weeks before that. So it'll be about beginning mid-September.
Okay, we have very little time left. This is such a great interview. I hate to end it. But could I ask you, Pierre, what hopes you and Candace have for the future of Uno? What changes do you envision for your school or your foundation 5 years from now? What do you see for Uno?
We're really happy, hoping to continue making a difference here in the community. And we're working hard in Canada to work up our fundraising and hoping to be able to open up more schools in the Cotacachi area, in the indigenous communities maybe, or elsewhere in the Imbabura province. So we're hoping to be able to spread what we're doing now so that more people can attend. And also as part of our program, we really want to develop more of our business program and continue helping the people that are in business strive more and be more successful, and potentially develop other social programs for the community.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Susan?
Well, yeah, I would just add for the expat community here, for the English speakers living here, if you're approached this summer by a kid with a survey or who wants to interview you, please be kind and interview them. Don't let them just hand you the questions. Make them read it to you. Make them ask you. But we are asking for different expats who might have a fun history to allow us to organize some children to interview them.
Okay, so we've run out of time. I thank you so much. I have posted a link for Uno a Uno on our Facebook group page. That's In Other Words, so that listeners can get in touch with these good people who make it possible for more Cotacachi residents to learn English and business skills and just so many other things. You can also find links for donations and volunteer opportunities at Uno a Uno on the Cotacachi Volunteer Center website and the Facebook page by the same name. That's Cotacachi Volunteer Center Makipurai. So I need to put in a word for Kahlua Coffee and Tea. They have great coffee from Intag, but what they do best is sandwiches. Meat with savory toppings and creative vegetarian sandwiches, all of them served on fresh baguettes. They are on the corner of Pedro Moncayo and Leather Street 7 days a week. Breakfast starts at 9. Thank you for listening this week to another episode of In Other Words. We'll be back next Friday and every Friday afternoon at 4 with more language lessons, classic oldies, sure to bring back good memories from our youth. And next week, we'll give listeners something to talk about when I interview Marco Moreno, the coordinator of the Paseo de Chagras on Sunday, June 3rd, when hundreds of costumed horses and riders will pass through Quiroga and Cotacachi. If you have any questions now you want me to ask Marco, please post them on our program's Facebook page called In Other Words. Remember, we begin every program with announcements of upcoming public events in Cotacachi that are not so easy to find because the print publicity is in Kichwa or Spanish. I interpret those announcements for you to the best of my ability, so you won't have to miss out on special cultural events in Cotacachi again. If you want to get in touch with any of the language teachers, guests, or sponsors from In Other Words, you can go to the In Other Words website program page on Radio Publica Cotacachi as well. So thank you for joining me again this week. Thank you so much again, Suzy and Pierre. We'll talk again next Friday at 4 on In Other Words. Hasta viernes. Chaska punjakaman. Thank you. Gracias. Yupaichani mashikun.
Then the man steps right up to the microphone. Says it lasts just as the time bell rings. Good night, now it's time to go home. Then he makes it fast with one more thing. We are the subject.
Thank you for listening to our program. In other words, we'll see you again next Friday at the same time, 4 p.m. on Radio Publica Cotacachi.
Fill my heart with song.